How's it going, everybody? As always, thanks for tuning in. I'm Alan Staley, and this is Sling and Dirt with Staley. On this week's episode, driver of the Hyde-Brighter Foundation Services, Pro Powder Coating, Lucas Cattle Company, Dave Burke's Custom Homes, West Main Pizza, R&R Bounce House, Maxim Chassis, Moss Racing Engine, 360 Sprint Car, number 4, from Lowman, Missouri, Evan Martin. With over 12 years behind the wheel of sprint cars across the Midwest, the past decade of driving has been favorable for Evan, with multiple weekly feature victories at XX Speedway and Lake Ozark Speedway throughout the years, an ASCS sanctioned win at LA Raceway in Lamont, Missouri, a Sprint Invaders feature victory at Scotland County Raceway in Memphis, Missouri. The competitive edge remains intact that makes Evan a frontrunner year in and year out. 2018 would also see Evan garner a second place in points in the ASCS Warrior Region standings with consistent and impressive showings, notching 3 top 5s and 8 top 10 finishes throughout an outstanding season for the HMR team. Evan's passion for our sport is very apparent, and he's about as honest as they come. A throwback of sorts. A driver from the days when wheelmen spoke their minds and never ran from a PC culture. Flat out, sling it in sideways and hope it sticks. Evan will pull no punches, speak his truth 100% of the time, and wheel his way to the front in spectacular fashion. And that's why you can't help but like and appreciate Martin. He's calm and calculated, yet courageous and cool. The way Evan mentors young up-and-coming drivers, it's inspiring. And how he not only stepped out of his successful father's proverbial shadow, but he continues to stand on his accomplished feet as the driver that he is today. That's just downright impressive. Hear all Evan's laid-back stories like what his ideal racetrack is, if there's more Knoxville in his immediate future, why he loves driving so much, plus Martin's heavily win-themed Mount Rushmore of racing, where the passion comes from, and more, on an all-new Sling and Dirt with Staley. Special guest Evan Martin, starting right about now.
Well, I mean, growing up, I've always, been with my dad and racing with him throughout the years. I mean, from whenever I was a little kid, I've always been involved in racing, and just being around him my whole life, I've just had the drive and the passion for it to do it myself.
When did you finally step behind the wheel?
I think I stepped behind the wheel. I think this is my 12th season.
Yeah.
So 12 years ago, and jumped right in a sprint car.
And there was no beginning process?
There was really no beginning process. I actually, one season, went up with Billy Hurt, and we raced the Coliseum for probably 10 races or something like that. But other than that, that's the only thing I've ever been in except for a sprint car. So I've always plugged my dad to do it for years and years, and he finally, one year...
You made the big jump?
Made the big jump, and built me something, and that's where we took off. So,
is there any added pressure having a Randy Martin as your dad?
There is and there ain't. I mean, because you got those people that look at you as far as well, why ain't you doing as good as your dad did back in the day? But a lot of things have changed, from what they were back in the day. Everybody's got money now, and everybody just seems fast, and the competition's just much more fierce these days. So
why the number? Is there any big significance to it?
Well, the number, I honestly want to be number 1, because my dad, he was number 1 back in the day in the old 4-cylinder days, and I wanted to be number 1, but they said I wasn't worthy of being number 1 yet, so I just took the other number on his car, which was, his car's number 14, so I took the 4, so.
That works out.
That's right.
Do you have any race day rituals? I know some drivers can't wear green, there's others that can't eat chicken on race day. Is there any superstitions that kind of run your race day?
Honestly, not really. I mean, I've had a green car in years past, and I actually ate chicken today on the way up here. So
there's no real superstitions.
Yeah, not really. No.
Is there any fear when you're out there on the track?
My biggest fear in sprint car racing is catching on fire. I mean, that is probably my world's biggest fear, and I've been fortunate and lucky enough that hasn't happened, and I hope it never does happen.
Do you ever think about it when you're in the car, or do you completely have to out of sight, out of mind?
Pretty well out of sight, out of mind. I mean, honestly, whenever I'm strapped in the car and as soon as I get on the racetrack, I mean, of course, I got a lot of things going through my head before I hit the racetrack, but once I hit the racetrack, my only mindset is just what I got to do out there as a driver to get where I need to be and make the best options that I possibly can.
Is it a don't think, react, or are you going in with a game plan when you're on the track?
I usually try to go in with a game plan, but most of the time that usually
it goes right out there. Yeah, that green flag comes out, it's a whole new ball game.
Exactly.
Can you walk me through, like, in the staging area and your parade lap? Are you looking for certain people in the stands, or are you looking for your marks on the track on that parade lap?
On that parade lap, I'm looking for my marks on the track, you know, where the best moisture is as far as, you know, where I need to go on the track and where I think the guy in front of me. And I always try to figure out who's around me. That way I kind of got a game plan as far as knowing, you know, in the races past where they usually run, I kind of look at, you know, okay, well, they're going to go here or go there. And then, you know, I always try to make my move on the parade lap, you know, deciding where I want to be going into the first corner.
Right. There's a lot of thought that goes into a split-second decision out there on the track. Do you ever get what I call paralysis by analysis, where you overthink a situation? Say you're waiting to make a move and that opportunity never presents itself.
Absolutely. I'm sure that's happened to me quite a few times where I've overthink a lot of things, you know, and coming back in, why did I do that?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, there's definitely been a time or two that's happened.
What's been the highlight of your career so far?
Oh, man. Honestly, I'd say the first race I ever won, which was up at Lamont, you know, it was an ASCS race, and that was probably my biggest highlight just because it was my very first win, you know. I haven't really had any big highlight wins. You know, they've all just been a couple of Warrior races or a Double X Speedway, which, you know, any day now is hard to get anywhere you go.
Yeah,
so,
anytime you walk away with a win, you know, you've done something.
Absolutely. So, no, I would say that was probably my biggest accomplishment, you know, as far as, you know, me being in sprint car racing and being able to get that first win, you know, that was awesome. So, I just hope there's a lot more to come.
Take finance and danger out of the equation. Besides those two, what's the biggest negative? Or is there one?
There honestly isn't. I mean, I love sprint car racing. I've always loved sprint car racing. If I could go out there and do it for a living, I definitely would do that. You know, if I could financially afford to do so. But you know, and maybe one day I'll be able to do that. But as far as right now goes, you know, we're not there quite yet. So.
All right, let's flip the coin. What's the biggest positive in your mind?
All the good people you meet in racing. I mean, everyone that's involved in racing, you know, seems to have somewhat respect for everybody else. And, you know, it's just awesome family sport is what, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. The family aspect is, in my mind, the first and foremost. You got family and fun. And without those two things, why are you really doing it? Average week during the season. Let's say the car runs good the weekend before. No big adjustments, no big changes, no big fixes. How much time are you going to spend working on the car?
Usually what I do, like after tonight, you know, we'll race tonight, and tomorrow night we won't race, and my next race won't be until next weekend whenever we go to the lake for the 2-day show. So I'll probably go home tonight, and then I'll get up tomorrow whenever I get up around 10 or so, and I'll go to the shop and I'll do all the maintenance on my car as far as all the motor maintenance and cleaning the bars and the ball and all that normal stuff that you do. And you know, just doing an average maintenance, I should get it done get it all done tomorrow, and then usually I'll come up on a Thursday or one night during the week and make sure I got everything
just
done.
Do it once, comb over real quick.
Comb over and get tires and stuff mounted up and things like that. So
now, what about during the off season? Are you completely stripping the car down, bare chassis, and then building it from the ground up, or is it just kind of tweak the previous year car?
Normally, we usually change our paint scheme every year and all that. So I'm usually taking it down to bare frame, and I'll get it repowder coated, or we get a new car, then we'll go that route. So I mean, I'm definitely always working in the off season, you know, to try to either make things better or repairing what we've damaged in the years past. So
now we talk about the money, we talk about the danger, we talk about the time spent. Where's the motivation come from? Why keep doing this?
It's just the love and passion I have for the sport. I mean, honestly, I've always been around it. Honestly, sprint cars is all I've ever known, and I just, like I said, if I could do it every day, I'd do it.
What would you say is the biggest wreck or the scariest moment you've had behind the wheel?
My biggest wreck and scariest moment was probably, I would think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. We were at Lakeside and had a front stop fall off, and that was before I had the safety deals in there, and smoked the wall head on, got a concussion.
That big half mile, that's unforgiving.
Yeah,
and you get
very
going,
unforgiving.
Yeah, high speeds at Lakeside.
I hurt the next few days after that. So.
Now, how do you come back from something like that? Is it just don't think about it, crawl back in the car, and let's go? Or
honestly, yeah, that's what you got to do.
No hesitation.
You just don't think about it, get back in and do it. you're thinking about it, you're not going to be very fast.
Yeah, I like that. Competition or camaraderie? Are they friends in the pit?
I would say a lot of them are. Most of them are, you know. I'm big buddies with a few of these drivers out here, and you know, I mean, when we're on the racetrack, it's definitely, you know, I'm competing against them, and we're not friends. But when we're back at the pit area and hanging out, you know, I definitely got quite a few buddies out here. So
the thing that I admire about you and your racing program is the respect that you have amongst our peers here in the Warrior region. What do you attribute that to? Do you attribute to you helping out the younger generations? You're always there, willing to lend a hand on a car?
I mean, you know, it just means to me that, you know, I just feel like if I treat people right and respect people, they'll treat me the same, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's got to feel good whenever you roll into the pits and everybody saying hi to you and everybody coming up, making sure you're doing all right and everything.
Absolutely.
It goes to say a credit a lot to your personality.
Yeah, I definitely want people to like me, not hate me.
Yeah, that's understandable. What is the favorite pre-race meal? You're going to the track, you're going to stop off somewhere, or even a home-cooked meal. What's the go-to?
Honestly, I've been on a diet here lately. Grilled chicken's my go-to.
Grilled chicken's the go-to. And do you have a favorite post-race beverage that you're always going after in the cooler?
Well, I always have my post-workout recovery after there, and then I definitely hit up the beer after that.
Let's take it away from the dirt track and go to the regular road. What is your dream car? Money's not an option.
I'll probably have to go with Lamborghini Diablo.
Lamborghini Diablo.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. That's one of the first exotic cars we've had on this show. Everybody else is always like, oh, 50s, 60s, 70s models. I want to build it up.
I'd definitely like to do that too, but I would absolutely love to have a exotic car.
If money's not an option, why not go with a supercar? Are you more of a short track or a long track kind of guy? High bank, low bank? What's your cup of tea if you had to design your ideal racing surface?
I mean, honestly, I'm more of a short track guy just because I feel, I just feel more confident racing short tracks and everything. I haven't raced a whole lot of half-mile stuff. I think maybe next year I'm going to try to get up to Knoxville a little bit more and see what we can do up there and maybe try to run the Nationals next year. So
along those lines, what's the future plans have in store for you? Where do you want to see your career progress towards?
Well, honestly, I mean, I'm getting older in my age here, but I would honestly love to, go out and travel, at least do that one or 2 years.
Take a trip on like a national tour.
Just try to do the national tour or something one year. And hopefully one of these years we'll get to that point. But as far as next year goes, I'm probably going to try Knoxville quite a bit. I'll probably run this Warrior deal quite a bit. We'll see what happens.
See what happens after that. Is there anybody you want to give a special shout out to? Thanks for helping your racing program all these years?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely want to thank Ryan Hybrader and Ashley Hybrader and Richard and Rosemary Hybrader. Without them, I definitely wouldn't have what I got and be able to do what I've done. They've been with me since day one and have stuck with me through thick and thin. And without them guys, like I said, I wouldn't be here. I can't give them, enough thanks for what all they've done. So I definitely got to thank Pro Powder Coating and them guys have always been great to me. And Dave Burke's Custom Homes and West Main Pizza and Lucas Cattle Company. I mean, I got everybody on my car is either a great friend or, has helped me out somewhere or another. So
you do have a good core group around you too, everybody that helps on the car, and like you were saying, your sponsors. It's one of the most decorated cars out there. It's always a pleasure anytime I get to see it out there on the track. The final question of the show: what is your Mount Rushmore of racing? It can be all dirt, all NASCAR, Formula One, a blend of anything. They don't even have to be the best. Just your 4 favorite.
Man, that'd be a tough one. I'd definitely have to say Steve Kentner would have to be one of them.
He's the king for a reason.
He is the king for a reason. And I'd have to put Donnie Schatz right up there with him because he's right there too.
Well, the things he's doing up at Knoxville it's ridiculous. 2 more.
And I definitely have to put my old man on there.
Most winningest driver in the Warrior region history.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure. And let's see, who else will I put up there? I'm gonna go with Tony Stewart.
Tony
'cause
Stewart.
He's kind of an old school guy that
Mhm.
Has always been fast and pretty well anything he's been in,
Yep.
kind of like Larson these days. So,
Yep.
I'd have to probably go with him.
I cannot argue with that one bit. I like that Mount Rushmore. That's a good one, buddy. All right, man. That's all the questions I have for you today. Again, thank you for coming on the show. I really
Perfect.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you very
And
much.
best of luck tonight. Hopefully I'm interviewing you in Victory Lane after you win it tonight.
That'd be awesome.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.